Hello, my friends. It's Trisha Clark with Sparkle Farts Paper Crafts, and I have a journal here that I've been working on for the Be Happy Stationery design team. And the truth is, I got completely distracted. I was supposed to be working with fungi foragers and shabby chic, but the spring weather and hearing the birds chirping outside my house and all of the rain, I don't know, I got distracted and decided that I wanted to work on her spring showers, which I know was really the focus for March. But here in Arkansas, the rain really kicked in April, and the birds are chirping and the trees are green. And this cute little kit just really started speaking to me. And so I've put together the journal. And so today I thought I would pop on and work on the cover with you guys. And then also I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on this inside cover in terms of like a paper bag or something like that. So I have a few things in mind here, out and about. And the first thing I'm going to start with is this piece is what I think is going to be on the cover. But I wanted to distress it with some weathered wood just to make those edges a little dusty. And it doesn't stand out a bunch, but it does add a little bit of something on those edges. Now this is the Spring Showers kit from Be Happy Stationery. And I made this out of, it's just some chipboard, but then the paper around the edge is from Elizabeth Craft Designs. She had some background papers that I thought looked great with this kit. So I'm thinking this is going to be the cover. And I know that I wanted to use a little bit of fabric and lace. So kind of my thought process is, I think I might put this doily around the edge like this. I think that looks so pretty. And then I thought this doesn't quite pop enough off of that paper. So I found this really beautiful vintage crocheted lace in a flea market when I was on vacation this summer, and I've just been waiting for a reason to use it. And I think that this will be really pretty. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame this image all the way around. So instead of matting it on paper, I'm going to frame it with this lace. And that will make it pop just enough from this, but I still like the blues. I don't really want to add any of the bright green or yellow. I like the moody feel of this rainy day. So I think maybe we'll start with that, and we'll start with an edge and see what we think, whether we want to put it on all four or not. But I'm really thinking it could be a beautiful frame. I think I'm going to start by just putting glue along the edge of the page. And I'm going to use Beacon 3-in-1, my favorite for fabric and ribbons. And I'm just going to put that glue along the edge because I do want it to hang off of the image a little bit. It's not very wide, but isn't it so pretty and so dainty? I just love it. I'm just going to, I think, lay it down and smush it down right about there. So it still hangs off. We'll have to let it dry, so it is seeping through the holes in the lace a little bit, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and trim our bottom piece. All right, so let's add our glue there. Yeah, I was in an antique mall and flea market in, I must have been Michigan, and I stumbled across this bag of all kinds of these crocheted laces in off-white and different patterns, like feet and feet of them for like $18. And it was a huge bag, and I'm having a blast with it. A couple of you are going to be getting some Happy Mail that has a few strands in it. Okay. Oh, I got some glue strings here. All right, now let's see what it's going to look like if we add some lace on all four sides. And if we like, I do really like that frame. Okay, let's do that. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think this is going to be really cute. I was feeling really stuck and a little bit burned out on journals, and it took me really just playing with some little bits throughout the month of April, the end of March, and early April to get back in the swing. And this one came together so quickly after feeling like I just couldn't think about another journal. But I've also discovered that I get burned out when I try to do journals that are more than one signature. I get a little bit bored with the project and I'm always ready to move on. And so these one signature journals are perfect projects for me. Kind of breaks everything back open between doing the little bits and then getting started with a one signature journal. Seems to help me get out of that creative funk. While that dries, we're going to go ahead and glue this crocheted doily onto the cover of this, because that idea I am definitely married to. All right, this one I'm going to actually put it, let's make sure that I don't have this doily upside down if there's a right side up. And I think there is. Maybe? If there is, I can't tell. Okay, good. Less room for me to screw it up then. There it is. Yep, I think that's correct. All right, so I am going to put it directly on the edges of the doily to start. So we make sure we get those edges down. And then after we get the edge down, we'll kind of glue underneath it, on top of the journal, underneath the doily. But I want to get that edge on first in a couple of these wider areas just to get a good start. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Might be easier if I laid it down here and then pull it over. Okay. All right, now I can lift it up here and add some glue to the journal. And I really like covering up the strings on the spine, and I think doilies and fabric are great, or lace I should say, are great for that. So then I'm going to peel that around. Good. And it doesn't feel like we have any glue coming through, so I think I can go ahead and flip this over. And then I can, where is it going to come to? About there. So around here, I can just sort of put a bunch of glue. And then we can do that one more time around the edges to make sure we get them good and glued. And I'll let it dry for a while, and then I may have to check on it and see if there are additional spots that need to be touched up. But this, especially by the time we put the topper on the front, it should really hold down that doily, and we shouldn't have to worry too much about it. Okay, now I'm okay that it covers most of the back because I'm not going to decorate anything on the back to begin with. So I think that's a nice pretty decoration. All right, and then on the front, we're going to add the rest of our little goodies. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim these edges off that are a little long. Let's see, I've got one under here and there. We don't want to add a ton of, we don't need that extra hanging out from underneath. It just looks a little odd. And I do see, well, once I get it glued down, I see where we need a little extra glue in some spots. That's okay. Oh, look how sweet that is. Oh, it added so much more than I thought it was going to even. Great. All right, let's go ahead and glue this bad boy down, and then we can touch up some of those little spots on the crocheted lace. Here we go. I think next up with Be Happy Stationery, I'm going to be working with her Once Upon a Time kit. And I think I want to do a paper bag journal this time. I haven't done one of those yet. I've been thinking about it. And it would be another little journal. And it would fit great in our little booth or spin rack that we have at the Copper Crown in Rogers. That's where we sell some of our journals and greeting cards. But it's just a little spinning rack. And so I don't really have room for like the big full journals. But some little paper bag journals would be super cute. And then I also noticed that hidden paper clips are doing well on our rack. And so I might make some of those with the Once Upon a Time. And I think she has a new fairy kit coming out that I'm really excited to see. Okay. Next up on the front, I want to do a little piece of fabric like so, like a little label. And she has lots of cute words with this kit. This one, I think I want to distress with a little bit of brown, really to try to coincide with that bird. What I need to decide is whether I want this label up here. But see, then this feels like it's too much over here with the doily. And so I'm really feeling like it needs to be in here, but I don't want to cover that up either. Oh, but we can make it shorter, can't we? Let's do that. I love tearing it because I love the frayed edges. Now you could stamp a word on this little piece of fabric if you wanted to, but I really just wanted to use the little words that she had in this kit. I think it's so cute. All right, let's put a little fabric tack on there. Misty morning, that's what that reminds me of. And when this is all done, I'm gonna take some glossy accents and I'm going to highlight those rain droplets and some raindrops because I think that'll add some dimension. That will be really fun. Or I could do stickles, but I think, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Should I do stickles or should I do glossy accents? There's no rush for me to do that part, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, misty morning. Put that right there. And then I have this super cute little crocheted doily or applique, and I think I want to put that right. Ooh, I don't know. Should I put it with a stamp, or have we done enough? I don't want to crowd it, but I feel like I want a little something. You know what? I think for now we might just leave it like this because I don't want to crowd anything else. Maybe even just a few pearls right here, and my glue is having an explosion. Let's take care of that, shall we? All right, well, this has taken me long enough. Maybe I'll come back another day and add the stickles and glossy accents, whatever you tell me I need to add in the comments. And then we'll add something to these inside covers. I love to include a bag or an envelope for all the extra pieces of a kit to go in case whoever gets the journal wants to add something to it. I think that's really fun. Let's see, maybe it's, see, that's too much the same color. No, I think that we might add a few little pearls or bling in each of these two corners, and then figure out whether we want to do glossy accents or stickles, and I think the cover will be done. So thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video.